Hello and welcome back to Mr. Seal. Today we're gonna make this hook. As you can see, it's just a simple triangular shape. Now, I want to be very upfront about it with you. Of course, you see this post factum of me creating it, and in this new format you will be able to see me struggling, so you don't have to always have some problem, right? They open their program, they see a YouTube video, they click something, and it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because the person does the most logical step that he or she would make, but the program is not always responsive. Might be some geometry errors. In the end, it is a computer science, and it's like magical to me that something can be created into this 3D world from basically a chip. And what is even a chip? It's magic. Anyway, I digressed. So let's begin. First of all, I will assume that you are completely new to CAD, therefore I will go slowly and doing the step-by-step process. Alright, first of all, let's make sure that when you click on a plus, you're in a hybrid design. What it will allow us is to import parts from outside later during the project, without the need to recreate them. So click on it and click create new. But I already had created it. Now how do I know it? First I have assembly here, and for my insert commands they all are active. Otherwise they will be grayed out. So double check that. Second, now we are off to our new start. Over here in the top left corner, click sketch. As you can see, if you hold for a bit, it will show the instructions, but in our case just click it. And then we will create a plane, right? We don't need to create it, we just select it. To create a plane, it's a bit trickier up there. But for now, even not right there, if we exit it out, here we can have just abundance of sketches. So, let's begin. Again, click on sketch and select this top plane. Why top plane? It doesn't matter, you can sketch in either plane, but I prefer to look down onto my object that I will draw. And now we need to think about the general shape of this hook. So what I'm thinking is something about a flush to the wall, right? We must have a flush part to the wall. Now make sure that it snaps, your cursor snaps into this origin, click on it and drag it up. Now I have this line. Click escape. And now when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about how much surface area should I have against the wall. And I'm thinking it should be about like 15 millimeters or 20. So, but for now let's click 15. We can always change it later on. Again, click escape, and now you can double click it and select. Now we will draw the outer shape. So now that we have this flat portion, we will drag it out, and after that, without any escape buttons, we will just drag it back down. And now we need to think about, do we want to just go like this, or we will have some kind of intermediate. For now, let's go here. And again, click escape to deselect the tool. As you can see, this looks too sharp, to put it mildly, and it probably will benefit to increase this up to 20, so the angle is not that sharp. Second of all, just click on it and move. Maybe we don't need such a sharp thing at all, right? Let's drag it down and constrain it from this point to here. So we set its height to, let's do another 20, and probably we also want to set how far we want it to stick out, and again let's put it around 20, and this actually looks better. Now what we can do next, we don't want this sharp corner, and we can use the fillet. We can use fillet here, which is not actually a fillet, but it's a sketch adjuster, or we can get it right there. And now we get something more like a hook that we want, and set it at 1.5 millimeters. Now this already looks pretty good. We even can go back and change it back to 15, and it looks better. Now what we can do, we can of course click finish sketch and extrude it. And now we want to extrude it by a certain amount of millimeters that would be still comfortable to put your clothes on, but we also need the place for the screw, right, to screw it into the wall. So let's just extrude it just a bit, about 10 millimeters, plus it will add the durability. Since we are not making it out of metal, we're making it out of PLA, most likely. And here we go. So now that we have this, it's time to make the place for the hole, right? And to do that, we probably will want to do like a hole going through it. So let's change it to here from the left, and on this plane you will click on it. So when you clicking on it, you're selecting it, and after that you're clicking on the sketch button, and in the sketch button you're using the circle to make the hole. Now I'm thinking about M4 screw or bolt, therefore I will set its diameter to 4 millimeters. Great. And I'm also thinking about the recess for the bolt, right? So it can go flush with the hook that we have here. But it's a bit tricky, and it will depend on the type of bolt that we have. So for now I will just use a 6 millimeter setback, or actually let's make it a bit more, up to 8, and we can always adjust it later in a post adjustment phase. So good. Now click finish, again click extrude, and now instead of using it to add material, we will use it to remove it. So click on the sketch part that you want to extrude or remove, and here under the operations we will choose cut, and regarding how far, we will just eyeball it and click OK. Now let's go back, and to make sure that we don't lose our sketch, we will unhide it. So here you see, you can hide and unhide your sketches. Now, what I just thought about is that we can make our screw flat with this side and not with this side. And why would we do that is so when we will screw the bolt, it will stick out ugly, and it will be ugly, and we don't want that. So let's go back to our sketch, and I'm pretty sure somewhere here there is a button that allows us to change the faces. I do not see it here. I'm fairly new to Fusion, so for now we will finish the sketch, we will click on it, and we will delete it. Yes, we want to delete this feature. Now on our right plane we will click here. Not only we're going to delete this, we're also going to delete this extrude. And now on this plane we'll click create sketch. Great. And we will use our two circles that we just made, and we will set them to 8 and 4 millimeters. Now let's just rotate and make sure that they will be fine on our side, and yes, they will be. They will not interfere with our clothes. So now what we can just do, we can just set its dimensions from the origin to be 5 by 7.5. Awesome. Again, finish sketch, select this plane, there's not this plane, the sketch part, extrude, operation, cut. Rotate using the block and just drag it out. And as you can see, it doesn't interfere and it looks great. So click OK. Again, unhide our sketch since we don't want to hide it. Okay. And now let's go and search for our bolt that we want to use. And to do that, of course, I will not import, I will not create my own bolt. It's too hard, you need a metal lace and blah. It's easier to buy it. And since we can buy it, why we cannot just grab the cut that we need? So click here, insert, and drag down here to car component. Click on it. And here we have a whole variety of parts, but we will only need this one. Screw bolt. And now it's time to find it, right? Let's switch to metric because we did our sketch in metric. Now let's go ahead and click on M4 for 4mm diameter bolt. And let's scroll down. Now we want something either like this or like this with a flat head. And it's asking us for the length of it. For our it's not as critical because we're making it in a virtual world, but if you actually want to print it out and put it there, you want to select something that is longer, on a longer side, because you are anchoring it into the wall and you don't want it, to get easily ripped out. So I think something like a 15 to 20 will make a trick. Here we go. And of course we will use flat, because we want it to stay flush with our side. And you can choose the materials, blah blah blah. Oh, and actually look how nice. The head diameter is exactly 8mm for this type of bolt. So we nailed it. Now let's go here and look for it. And as you can see, you can scroll down for selections, but there is only one. So just go here, make sure it's in a step file. None of this other will work, probably. I didn't try them all, but SolidWorks will definitely not work. It's a Fusion program. And click download. And what it will do, it will take a second and bring it here. Now it's very nice since we can manipulate it. So let's go ahead and twist it a bit so we can get approximately how nice will it fit, and if we do need to redesign something. Now, as you can see, I'm just eyeballing it to see if we need to redo something, and it looks like that we are actually fine. Now, to double check it, I believe there was somewhere a special tool to go ahead and show us a part of sketch. So let me find it. Section analysis, probably. Again, click here. Great. And now what we can do, we can go ahead and hide half of it and see that it's approximately correct and it will hold on. Okay, so click cancel. And now we will need to create a completely new setup, if you would like to call it this way. What we want to do, we want to create a plane so that it's right there. And it's not only right there, it must be able to revolve it. So let's click here, offset plane, this plane by 5 millimeters in the opposite direction, so add a minus, click OK. Now we will probably want to bring our section view back, click on this plane, it will automatically hide it, click OK. And now we can start drawing our sketch there. So click sketch on this plane, and what we will do first, we will create axis of revolution. So go here and click here, center line. Now as you can see, it's a bit difficult to bring this outside geometry, but we will do it. For now, let's just draw the line. Click escape to deselect, and here we go, we have our line. Now we will click here to create, and I know there is a projection button, and we can project this point and this line, and we will click OK. What we can do now, using the constraints, we can make them perpendicular to one another, great, and we can also make this point attached to this line. And this is basically all we need to get ourselves an axis of revolution. Now what we need to do, we need to create a triangle that will go ahead, revolve, and cut the part out. So let's just draw it approximately. So it will be something like this, just going around, spinning, and cutting the material away. Now we need to get the angles right, and I know that this bolt or screw that we used has a 90-degree stuff, like a 90-degree angle combined, as it was shown in one of the diagrams, so we most likely just need a 45-degree here. And I also know that it's extend by 8 millimeters, so from the center line. So click on this center point, hopefully. Well, let's just use this one. Escape. Try again. Oh my god. Unselect it. Now click on it. Select 2 points. And it's weird. So we do need this point. Again, click here. Escape. Unselect everything by clicking on anywhere in a blank space. Click this tool. Now let's try to zoom in and select this point. Oh my god, how annoying it is, right? Let's go different route. Constraint. And constrain this point. Great. Now we can go ahead, probably, hopefully. Maybe, yes. And do it in 8 millimeter. But it was not 8 millimeter diameter. So click escape, it's 8 millimeter, no, it's 4 millimeter radius. Right, because when we double it to both sides, it will be 8. Here we go. We don't need to fully constrain it, since we are cutting away the material. So just arbitrarily move it out of the cutting zone. And click finish sketch. Now we will use this revolve tool. We will select our profiles that we want to revolve, and the axis of revolution already nicely selected for us. So click OK. I mean, I love when everything works, right? And here we go. Now we are off to the next step. Let's unhide the bolt here. And I actually just noticed the problem. As you can see, this bolt here probably has this vertical part, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work. But anyway, before trying to fix it, let's make sure that this bolt is co-center. And as you can see, it is. And because of this part that going down, our angle is actually off. So let's click OK. And we will need to redo our sketch. So while it's here, we will need to delete this line and create a new set of lines. As you can see, I draw this little offset. And this little offset should be exact same size as this. So let's again bring in the outside geometry. And how great, it doesn't work. Let's try a couple of different selections. Oh, it's probably due to our face being cut, so we cannot go this way. But we always can eyeball it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And let's make, and I have a feeling that it's about 0.3. And as you can see, I'm pretty close. If something is wrong, we will just go in and add something. Also, in our case, because we are not only engineering it in this imaginary world, we also want it to be working fine in the physical world, we need to get some, like, we need to do some tolerances, right? And give it some space, since 3D printers are not perfect and there is a giant margin of error. So let's go ahead and actually change it to 0.4. Great. Now, since everything is done on this part, we need to reinsert our angle. So again, let's click between this and this lines and make it a 45. Awesome. But actually, it looks like that this might not be 45, but we will deal with it later. As you can see, right now it's at an angle. So finish sketch. And now we have the space. There we have a tiny interference here, but in the case of 3D printing, it's probably better to have some, right? Because it is playable and it can flex and be deformed, so it's probably will lead only to more snug fit. So this is actually good, and it will not be obstructed by any nonsense error with this flash face. Also, what we can do, we have seen that this one is flash, and again we just found out that 3D printers are not perfect. So let's go back to sketch. Instead of 4, let's click 4.1. Oh, and as you can see, those points are not connected. That's not good. Click on this constraint line and edit them. Over constraints. Very bad that Fusion doesn't show you when something is over constrained or not. But for some reason it is not moving. Let's hide this body. And also hide this body. So let's see what's going on. Oh, this line is a constraint line. At least it seems like it. Yes. So we actually never created the line. Or maybe we did. Yes, there it is. We just connected this point to a constraint line. So let's see if we can delete this constraint specifically. Here we go. Now we can move it. So here we go, finish sketch. Oh, but it's broke. Or we just forgot to unhide it. And here we go. Now we have our margins ready to be 3D printed, and it hopefully will have a great fit. So let's disable this view. or what's a better way to do it. There should be a folder with them. Oh, here it is, under analysis. So we can hide it, and now we have our wall mounted hook. And as you can see, everything looks great. We have our margins, and if even we want to give a bit of slack to this face that the bolt is touching, we can just go in here and move the face. So click on it and move it negative 0.01. Now it might seem that 0.1 of a millimeter is a lot looking at this, but it's really minuscule if you take a look at it on a ruler. So let's go back and unhide it. Let's unhide our sketch and take a look at it again. Now all of our gaps are nice and clear, and I'm pretty confident with good 3D printer settings it will work. So now we can move on to our completely next part, and if you're a beginner, you probably can just stop here and don't care at all about what's happened next, but I will, and if you want to, you can also stick around. I will go ahead, hide all of those sketches as well as section view, and what I will do, I will go ahead and edit material of this part, and of course the appearance. So first to material, and we know it's plastic, and here it will depend if it's ABS plastic or PLA plastic. I do not see PLA here, but hopefully you do have ABS. I'm pretty sure and confident ABS and PLA are pretty similar. So we can go click a PLA that will have a plastic. Now it's very important that it's plastic properties, not color. So close, click on it, and now go to appearance. And in appearance, we can select all of the different colors that we want. Or paint, right? We can go here and select, if we don't have the color in our plastic, we can go to paint and just pick a paint for us. Powder coat rough. I think that would most closely match our need, and we can just put a red there. Actually on the whole body instead of just one face, and it will ask you to remove its original color, so just click remove. And just like that we have it red, we can have it white again. So you can just drag this here and change it to white, or you could have just click Ctrl Z or Command Z. Again, close here. But if you can see, it doesn't look that finished, right? We still have all of those sharp corners that 3D printers will not be able to handle. So let's switch our brains from design to manufacturing. So how we can make this thing easier to manufacture? So let's imagine it will be printed on this flat side that we have over there. Oh wait, here it is. Therefore, the only support that we'll probably will need is on this side, and we will only need to probably sand it a bit if we need to sand it at all. So let's go back here, click on a home view, and because of that I want to round this part just a little, just to break this like sharp edges style, and we will round this part a bit more. So let's just go ahead and do 0.2 or even 0.1. Or even we probably even don't not need this fillet. Maybe we want to have a chamfer, and chamfer will be better for the design if we don't 3D print it but mill it. So it's up to your manufacturing styles. So a chamfer and a chamfer of 2 millimeters, probably a bit too much, but one, it's already there. And we will probably want to add the same chamfer on all of the sides. As you can see, I'm experimenting here a bit, right? Maybe you need the chamfers for manufacturing, but what if there are some other places that they also would be aesthetically pleasing? So let's go and change it to 1. And as you can see, 1 is a bit too much, right? So let's just break this angle and click 0.1. Or we don't need to do anything at all. So let's click cancel. Cancel, go home. And that's probably can be it. What we can do, we can smooth out this a bit. Right, can't. Right. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.